Welcome to our third battle report, which features the Intermediate Playstyle that was unlocked on the Rulebook Kickstarter. I'm Richard, and I'll be using my roster of Nuclear Enforcers against my brother Nick and his Mush Mutants in a 500 points game of Tactical Strike. The Warsurge rules mostly focus on the Standard and Advanced playstyles, but Intermediate is a hybrid between the two. It has more freedom for actions than Standard without the CP management of Advanced. Casualties are resolved after an action instead of the end of the phase, making target selection, strategic timing and the use of perks very important. Kickstarter backers have had access to Intermediate for some time, but we now have a print-friendly PDF that can be downloaded from the website. If you've seen our other two sample battle reports, you should have a handle on the step-by-step guide of setting up a game. Instead of focusing on that process, we'll go over the game settings and have a look at the rosters we're going to use. Today's battle is a 2-player game on a 6x4 foot board with 2 deployment zones per player. This works particularly well as there are 5 objective markers in Tactical Strike, along with other randomly generated objectives such as claiming zones on the board or attacking specific targets. With Tactical Strike, objectives are generated at the start of the game turn from 3 tables. Any unfulfilled objectives from a previous turn can be kept for later or re-rolled at the start of a new game turn. We decide to treat each of our deployment zones as independent for the territory objectives, making it a little easier to claim them. We rolled set for the game length and ended up with 4 turns. Today we used the Scaled Minimum Unit Cost mod. This mod makes the minimum cost 5% of the point limit, which in this case of a 500 points game makes it 25 points. This makes it easier for smaller games and particularly useful for skirmish themed battles to have more units on the table. In today's game, the overall story is about a government corporation trying to purge unwanted mutants and seize assets from a rundown sector of a city. The mutants obviously want to defend their home and cause as much harm to these invasive autocratic puppets as possible. Now let's have a look at the armies. I've got the Nuclear Enforcers, which were made of models produced by Print Minis. Just note that what I've named these units isn't the same as Print Minis. This roster mostly consists of single model units with a couple of multiple model units. The Assassin moves fairly quickly, has the evasive perk and equipped with ranged and melee weapons. The Enforcer Guardian is sturdier than the usual Enforcer units, having perks such as Taunt and Provoke to force units to attack him in preference to other units. Aside from this, he also has an Enforcer Rifle, which is a ranged assault weapon. Enforcers are the filler for the roster, each equipped with an Enforcer Rifle. There are 2 units like this, 4 models all up. There are 2 gun turret units, one with a dual cannon and the other with missile pods. The dual cannon hits a little harder but has less attacks, while the missile pod is less powerful but has more attacks. They have taken the terrain perk, which gives them a reduction in points and allows units to move over them. The gunner has a machine gun which becomes more powerful at close range, and also has a combat knife, but he would prefer not to get stuck in a melee if possible, as his gun is a battle weapon. The Infiltrator is similar to the Assassin, but not as sturdy or powerful. However, she has the ability to deploy outside the deployment zone with Invade 3, if desired. K9 is a durable robot dog which moves quickly and can draw the attention of enemies. It is more costly than most of the other units though. The Machinist is a non-combat unit. Her job is to repair the K9 or gun turrets. Last but not least is the Sniper, who can deploy anywhere on the battlefield and is armed with a long-range rifle represented with 2 weapon profiles. This can be used to good effect on single model units and to fire into squads of troops. He's not particularly tough, but there is a reduced likelihood of ranged attacks hitting him due to his perks. Nick has the Mush Mutants, which are a blend of models from Gary Hunt Miniatures and Colossal Miniatures. Like with the Nuclear Enforcers, these models have different names than what they are called by their respective producers. First up we have the Goatmen. One unit is equipped with spears and the other with submachine guns. To take advantage of their above average movement, their weapons are all assault. Grizzled survivors are a trio of women armed with knives, shotguns, and hand bombs. They also have bandages which are intended for use on themselves, but could also be effectively used on units like the Goat Men. Mushroom Men are highly durable assault units with a ranged spore attack. Their job is to soak up damage and regenerate themselves. In this way, they can act as a tar pit to some units, especially those with high AP weapons, which make no difference to them as they have no armor save and just an Aegis. There are 2 of these units in the roster. Rad Acolytes are armed with a variety of weapons between the 2 units. In one unit there is a chain hook and hand bombs for keeping their distance, while the other has a chainsaw and a scythe for getting into close combat. The Rad Shaman is the first of only 2 lone model units among the Mush Mutants. He has a staff that not only can be used in close combat, but unleash potentially devastating bolts of lightning at range. She-Mantis are fairly fast close combat units. This pair has the Recon perk, which allows them to reposition after deployment. Be careful, or they might bite your head off. Walking Dead aren't particularly deadly, but they have numbers and the ability to respawn, making them unable to be permanently killed. This, and they can deploy beyond their own deployment zone even when they respawn, thanks to Invade. This makes them both durable and relatively strategic. The Wheeled Survivor is the fastest unit among the Mush Mutants. Armed with a handgun and hand bombs, she's able to get where she's needed very quickly. That's the armies, let's get into the game. And we're into the game. Hello, Nicholas.
Hello. So we'll be doing a bit of a commentary over the top, just expanding on what we did. I'm trying to recall my logic as to why I did certain things.
But we're covering not just intermediate, but also tactical strikes. So it's a very different game in that way with the randomly generated objectives.
It's probably the most involved of the just games of the between missions and deathmatch and tactical strike. It can be the most random.
Yeah, the luck can make a difference with that, but it's not all it is. There's plenty of decisions to be made with deployment, making sure that you can get good coverage of the table and be prepared to sort of be flexible.
This is where like a one-man army would do terribly in tactical strike. You really need to have a few different units to get the different objective markers easily and deny other people their objectives, and even just the having enough units in the different deployment zones, that kind of thing.
And then intermediate as a playstyle also is it was very interesting that we developed that for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It has 3 phases, and it's kind of like somewhere between standard and advanced. So it's got phases more akin to standard, but it breaks up.
Only 3 phases though, whereas standard has deploy, move, attack, and dash. Intermediate just has deploy, actions, and then dash. And the actions are made up into a few different ones. We've got Overwatch, which lets you attack something that's attacking you out of sequence. And then we've got move, attack, and guard as the more commonly used actions. But yeah, Overwatch is unique to intermediate.
Yeah, what that lets people use the attack action, and it replaces the attack action if you do use it. So you won't get to attack twice with it.
Yes, you can't Overwatch and attack.
Anywho, so what are we looking at here? So all the deployment here, we were just placing our units around the table, and we had the dual deployment zones. So we're actually there was 2 different areas that we could deploy into.
It's an interesting way of deploying. It's not sort of standard in most games, is to have 2 different separate corners that are far away from each other too, which you either have to divide your forces or condense it all into one small corner. We divided, It's sort of the way to go with tactical strike. Yeah, with having two very separate deployment areas, it's a long way to hike it if you need to defend that other deployment zone.
It kind of creates two miniature battles in the one area, because there'll be like two sort of spots where people could collide into each other, but
two fronts.
But then the middle objective can sort of stitch it all together potentially, like if that middle marker number 3, with which is the purple rock on the map there. That's a potential hot spot to get drawn into. But otherwise, it's two kind of fronts.
And the terrain is by 3 different affiliates: the tall building and the ruins, and the buildings with the orange sort of perimeter tops are all by Brutal Cities, made by Ryan in Sydney. And we've got the more military-looking
concrete buildings,
structures. They're from Arachio Studios. They ran a Kickstarter a while ago, and those were part of that. And some of the scattered terrain, I think, is so the sandbags are Arachio Studios. Those 2 little sort of browny yellow topped buildings on the left there, they're Arachio Studios.
I can see there that you've the action phase just started, and
we're into turn 1.
The Walking Dead have engaged the dog. So I guess we've got a bit of a tar pit situation now, because the dog was one of my sort of more costly units, and the Walking Dead, if I recall, were relatively cheap.
But having invade and respawn means that they can be easily relocated to most of the map. Invade, letting them deploy in the no man's land. But being Invade 2, they have to be further than 6 inches away from an enemy, I think.
From a deployment zone.
From a deployment zone,
yeah. But even so, so I started chomping on the zombies.
Straight away, 1 down. 1 wounded, critically.
And then on to my sniper, because that was a counter-action.
An Overwatch.
An Overwatch.
From the dog
to the zombies. Whilst now I'm getting ready to snipe. I had Invade, so I also put him in no man's land. He's on top of a building.
It's very themed for a sniper.
Yes, it could be climbed up the building, but he can still be shot at easily. So
we agreed that the smaller 1-story buildings would be like climbable from the outside, and that the big one would be entered through the doors at the bottom, and then as like an elevator up to the top.
And I'm going for your shaman, pretty much full on right off the bat.
Yep, he wants blood from the beginning. Well, probably appropriate with a sniper.
And kill shot was one of those attacks that it's hard. I can't. If he's in a melee, half his stuff's useless, but he's safe up there for the most part. And
it'd take me a few turns to get to him from where I deployed things.
But the Rad Shaman is not to be underestimated.
With a range 36 electric shock, that's yes.
And with the potential of doing like a lot of hits. So we see.
But I had a very good roll for the attack generation. I mean, 9. That's pretty solid.
Here it comes. So looking at his defense, I've got Shroud, which will make it a little bit harder to hit. But so looking at that, those are all saves. 6s, I think, cut my armor entirely with the piercing hit. So
with a 5+ armor save, it wasn't much to cut.
No, but I don't have an Aegis, so it's
pop.
He's dead.
He's got 1 HP left.
Yep, no, he's dead. The piercing hit took him out.
So that 6 was a piercing hit. Yeah.
So he's actually he bit off more than he could chew. He just got zapped. So that was actually quite troublesome to lose that so early in the game. I was kind of hoping he'd give cover fire to help sort of because I'd set him right near that middle objective.
That was my longest ranged attack too. You could have like attacked anyone else, but granted, I could have chose to zap him anyway with my attack action. But yeah.
And my generic troopers took a hit from some submachine guns.
Lovely goat men.
Yes.
Gary Hunt miniatures from New Zealand.
Yeah, we'll have to a big shout out to the model companies that produced all these. We've got Colossal Miniatures that made the Mushroom Men, and we have Gary Hunt Miniatures that did all the Mutants and Goat Men, and even those wasteland sort of survivors that kind of look like they're from Mad Max. They're all from Gary Hunt Miniatures. And then we have also
Print Minis was the Enforcers and all of Richard's army today.
Yes, all my armies, from Print Minis, which is a mixture of sort of like corporate looking soldiers and robots and gun turrets. And there's that Rad Shaman.
Yep, getting ready for objectives.
Because he took a few hits. The sniper left a mark for sure.
He's definitely not unscathed, yeah. He's ripe for pinging off later.
And I make an advance right there with a move towards the Mushroom Men. And that little red rock represents the deployment zone boundary. We know it kind of needed to keep tabs on that with things like respawn in particular.
And invade. And also with tactical strike, you need to know where your deployment zones
Exactly. That makes a big difference here.
Deathmatch, other than deployment perks, it really wouldn't matter. Missions, there's quite a few missions that use the deployment zones. So, yeah.
But yeah, particularly tactical strike, it often referring to where deployment zones are, like hit this person in your own zone.
Every game turn you're referring to it. Yeah.
But as to whether you can pull it off every turn, that is a different question entirely. Look at those Mushroom Men. And they'd regenerate, quite fitting for like a fungal sort of based unit. Were they once men? Were they just mutant mushrooms? Who's to say?
I'm going to say they're mutated people.
That's what I would be imagining in my head. Hence
have the sentience to sort of
they got like infected.
Walk around and be controlled. If I had given them berserk or psychotic, you could probably argue that they were mushrooms that are just smart enough to run around and attack things now.
Yes. They've perhaps mutated with mushrooms. There's all these goo piles here. We've got goat men, so maybe they had a mushroom and goat farm and things just went wrong. Who's to say? Okay. What have we got? More mushroom men.
Should have given the goat men some sort of bite attack that was good on artificial things.
Because they eat tin cans? Yes.
Like can bite or something like that. Or tin attack.
Chewed tin.
Yeah. But the gnawing teeth symbol.
Yes. Oh dear. But, it's all fine. And the spores. That would have been funny if... you can customize it so many ways, but the spores could have had even zombified. It's like, they're becoming,
spores attached
to
they've
got to their brain, and they're like mushroom zombies, as it were. It's like... Kind of like those mush... No, I'm thinking of a parasite that takes over snails. But the same concept is... Yeah, like a parasitic infestation after they're dead. Would have been interesting. And so my gunner has a crack at the Mushroom Men.
And once they're within a certain range, they'd have to attack them because of taunt.
Yes. I mean, they were like one of your tar pit units because they kept regenerating health fairly reasonably durable.
I think it was more the HP and the regenerate.
Yeah.
Is how I was planning to use them. The old handgun.
What I found to be surprisingly good at times was those hand bombs.
Yes, they did amazingly well. I rolled pretty well for them though.
Yeah, And I don't think you're in range of the hand bomb at this point, but the handgun you're having a crack at.
Yeah, I had nothing else in range, so may as well have a pot shot.
But as soon as I saw that Will Survive, I was like, ah, yes, the hand bombs. And one of the rad acolytes, I think, has them as well as a ranged attack. And it just felt like the tossing Molotovs was like the thing. But as to our opponent, depends on their resources.
And the Mushroom Men are making the most of their guard action that they did. So now they're getting peppered.
And what I had going with the gun turrets was that if the gun turrets were used sooner and against targets that were stationary, because they themselves stationary, I get to re-roll attacks. Because it's like they can concentrate the fire a bit better. But here comes the hand bomb. It was such a wild thing. I think we'll see. So an extra 2 power.
That's +1, I think.
Oh, sorry, it's a D3. Yeah,
Yeah.
+1. 12 attacks.
Yeah, 12. That's what was.
And
yeah, that's
at power.
such a lucky
my defense
roll.
is 3 anyway, so it's 3 and up. It should be. And
No, I think it's 2
Oh,
because
2.
it's power.
oh, it's
5.
already it's
so
a
it'd
2
be
plus.
yeah.
Yep. So no, ignore me.
Yep. But so that was freakishly lucky.
Wow.
And
then
terrible save.
wiped out.
Yep.
Look at that. A hand just set them on fire, and they're just like, bleh. Just like that. And
Yep.
I think if I had I didn't, even if they're at full health, would they have been dead? I should have looked at their profile, but it's still nasty. Nasty pasty.
And the assassin's like, well, there's casualties happening. I need to get onto it.
I don't know what I was thinking at this point, to be honest. I must have had grand plans. But that's a nice
good
roll.
Yeah.
Too bad there's no piercing hit factor here. It's literally just a good roll.
Yep.
And the Mushroom Man, look at that, 2 saves passed.
That's not too bad.
And then you'll probably just regenerate it back anyway. It's not enough. You really need to sort of do enough hits to them to more than they regenerate to really have anything. The She-Mantises were like your fast unit, really, like your...
Yes, and I was trying to run around and sort of half flank there
And my...
behind the big bunkers.
And that's when I saw that, I was like, oh god, I should bring my tanky dude back to...
No.
That's the thing, because it's as much as you're going after objectives, you shouldn't really leave yours unattended.
Because you can still deny your opponent as long as you're within 2 inches of that objective.
Yeah. So in that case, I'm like, oh, I don't want to just give away points, potentially. And oh yeah, the camera on the right was it got too hot.
Well, it was just a phone being held up by a VHS case, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
which has been screwed into the ceiling, and it was a
That's
warm
how dedicated
one.
we are to this. We've put a hole in our ceiling
Yeah.
just to put a VHS. It looks so funny when people just look up at the ceiling like, why is there a VHS case sitting on your ceiling?
We ended up positioning the fan, angling up this like large fan to. I think we put some box under it or something and some books and angle it up to shoot through the air to the
cool air up to it. Yeah.
and then we put the phone in the fridge between the game turn.
Pre-chilled it.
Yeah, so it was all really cool, and we would do that every turn after we saw what happened there. So
Just for all the youngins who don't know what a VHS is, it predates a DVD. They're a big tape for movies.
But yeah, so once be good once we can get out of that kitchen into a bigger space. But for now, it's quite good. Oh yeah, and the dash phase, that's what we're up to now. So we've done all our fighting and we are moving on to just the post moves, which can be still very helpful in terms of for objectives and things and positioning for the next game turn.
When we originally were designing Intermediate, we were umming and ahhing whether we had dash as a separate phase or not. But we found that a lot of people weren't using dash. Like, it just wouldn't get used if you had the two actions and...
Unless you were doing a move and a dash. Like
a move and a dash. But then it sort of limited the potential of dash with assault weapons. It became kind of...
It affected weapon types too much compared to the other two playstyles. So.
Yeah, so it was sort of penalising dash. So we thought, no, we'll just make it a separate phase. And it's sort of... Yeah, it definitely helps with objective-based games as well as tactical strike for sure.
And we're nearing the end of turn 1, and we'll see how we did. Hey, look at that! You were right onto it. Those mantises, and then so I've lost 2 units this turn.
I'm trying to remember which objective you were supposed to be going for.
Oh, they'll come up in a moment, but I just found it funny that I lost 2 units. Like the sniper died, and then the bomb took out the other enforcers, just like. So that right there is a big advantage because you can also outmaneuver me because I've got less stuff to use.
Yeah, I have a lot more options with more units, especially in tactical strike.
Alright. Quite a few things to dash still.
Turn 1's always the longest.
Yes. Turn 2, if I recall, was quite full on as well. It wasn't until turn 3 that things really shrunk down. But you would have felt fairly good at this point with 2 of my units being dead.
I think I was just stoked as soon as the sniper was down.
Yeah. Alright, so I didn't do anything.
You didn't achieve your objectives.
Yeah. So, 0 objective points is not a good position to be in. And you completed 2, so you claimed your marker in the territory. And yeah, I think you had to hold your own
roll though. Yeah, it was just my own. That's why I put. There was some that stayed put. Yeah. Or it might have even been my shaman who claimed it.
Okay, and now so I go for the second marker, and I got the same territory, and I have to cause a single model unit to become a casualty, which is what your Rad Shaman is. So that would be where I'd be focused.
Definitely going to be under pressure there.
And
I need the central objective, which is usually the hardest to take. So that'll be...
You can't... holding my deployment zone is not going to be an easy one.
Not with 2 turrets.
Yeah. Yes. Then turn 2. And I won the roll off and went first. Speaking of gun turrets, as you just mentioned... Yes. I was going at Rad Shaman, of course, because I'm going
going for that one single
model unit kill. Because at this point, I've got no points, and I need to start dealing with those rookie numbers.
And for people thinking, oh, tactical strike sounds like it's a very specific sort of way to get certain things, because like someone might not take a single model unit in their army. If you cannot achieve an objective, you get to re-roll.
I mean, if it's completely impossible. I mean, it's different if it's like, oh, hold the enemy deployment zone and you're nowhere near it. Well, it can still...
Yeah, at least it's one of those ones that, is it technically possible at some point in the game? Yes. That means you don't re-roll. But if someone doesn't have single model units, that's impossible to get. So you get to re-roll.
Yeah. Anyway, I did it. I got the shaman, and Nick's going to and even just going into a melee against the gun turret is totally messing it up.
Yes, it has huge penalties now when it attacks. And I also didn't want to get stuck with the enforcer with the shield, because he has taunt, which means I'd have to attack him if I was in melee.
But even just engaging the turret,
it just totally messes up those heavy weapons.
Yeah.
I was pretty stoked.
So yeah, I think that will be a -2, and if I decide to shoot something far away, it would be -3 because it's shooting out of the combat. Yeah, look at that. -3. So
6 and a 2 on something that would have been best of 4+ normally.
with rerolls, but depending what target it was as well. But yeah, so that tying up my gun turret was a very good move. Even something like that's something even the zombies could have done as well, but the zombies are holding up another unit, which was my fast unit was that dog, and tying it up was like half the point of using it. It was actually a very good move as well. And yeah, no,
yeah, you got the mushroom men slowly going for that assassin.
They're more, as much as they're a tar pit, you've still got so many units there. You could...
Yeah, 3 separate units.
It was not really a smart move.
Rush the assassin.
No. She's got sort of like medium durability compared to...
I think, yeah, but the evasive in the Aegis 4+, I think you figured she'd last a lot longer.
Yeah, but I really bit off more. Like, look at that. Look at all the stuff there. There's like survivors, there's goat men, there's mushroom men.
Just sheer number of attacks. Like those machine guns on the
they got rapid.
Goats. Yeah. I probably should have.
I went right into rapid range. I'm basically... And it's already nearly half dead, and that's... no. I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
But I will still fight to the last.
No, yeah, we did something a little bit unconventional.
And I also have
rolled both weapons together because they were literally the same power and
Yeah.
chance of success.
Yeah, so, yes. And... yeah. And then with the assassin attacking, I have to attack the mushroom men. So I couldn't even pick on the squishier units, which was another silly thing to do.
Taunt's one of those perks that I don't really use it a lot, but I've always been impressed with how it's performed when I do.
Yeah, I took it on my guy with the shield, and your mushroom men, I think, were the ones that all had it in your case.
You sort of notice its effectiveness more when there's ranged things as well. And when you're within close enough proximity for it to still work.
Yes, and I moved the enforcers forward towards that
wheeled survivor.
Yep, and taking some shots at, well, rather the third objective as well is what I was eyeing off, and thought I'd take some shots.
Just even to deny me it, because that's my objective, is the third one. What was yours again, this one?
I believe it is the one the gun turret's sitting on.
Okay.
I'd have to check once the turn's finished. There's a lot going on in this game. So it's our longest battle report, but there's also so much going on. So all these little mini fights going on, all these little objectives going on, and none of it. There's a couple times where we had the same objective.
Like the first few times I played Tactical Strike, I probably didn't like it that much, but I think I also had some bad rolls on my objectives. But I've been warming up to it more and more.
It takes a bit more. It's a little bit more paper trail in a way, like keeping up the paperwork on it, because you generate the new objectives every turn, or you can.
Yeah, if you've finished ones, you have to generate.
Or if there's ones you hate, you re-roll them.
Yeah.
And here's the hand bomb. Let's see what it does this time. Oh, that's not a 6. Is not
+3 power.
Yeah, so it has
7.
Yeah, 7 power, and then the attacks 6. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, alright.
But I think it is enough to theoretically kill me if they actually hit. But evasive lowers the chance. And I got my armor and Aegis, because that does not cut any AP, those bombs. It's literally just raw power and attacks.
But 5+5+ isn't all that great.
Oh,
but you
look
did
at that.
roll
Aegis
amazingly
right
well.
there.
Like, that could have wiped that whole...
I think statistically I probably should have died.
Or at least
there.
been a bit more wounded.
Or at least... Because I only
on.
had 3 left, so it was reduced to 2.
Yeah.
So there was actually a high chance of being knocked out. So I'm going for rapid and impact.
I don't even really know what I was going to do with that wheeled survivor, really. I think I was just floating about. Because it had such high movement.
You could just like, oh, I'm going over here, I'm going over there.
Are they called segways or something?
That's they probably have another name. I think Segway is literally the name of the brand.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of like how people say, "Oh, I'll have a Panadol," but it's not really like it's just the brand name of it. Yes. Yes. You did bandages.
Healing the goat, man.
Yeah. So those survivors they were very good at healing themselves, but the goat men still had to roll their armor.
I really wanted to keep that submachine guns going. I was very happy with the number of attacks on the submachine guns.
And I think at this point you healed them back to full with bandages. Mm-hmm. Because if we've learned anything from anime,
+1.
Bandages fix everything.
Oh, they do. Yeah, I remember one episode of Dragon Ball Z where they fixed the back of a plane with just big band-aids. It's like, yep, that's anime.
And what have we got? You're knifing my assassin at this point.
Stabby.
And look at this. This is now.
You look for 4 pluses.
Oh. That's exactly what was needed. She only had 3, so.
Yeah, that was bad roll. Yeah. Should have survived that round, but then I probably had other things still that I could have
Well,
taken.
there's I would have argued that the infiltrator should have perished but lived, and then
Yeah.
So now your slicey dicey mantis ladies have to attack
The enforcer, whenever they
from here
attack.
out, but you already had a crack at the gun turret and damaged it.
Yeah, those turrets were surprisingly tough to crack.
The goat men. Now they're getting brazen. They'll be like, "You've pushed me out."
Now, as soon as they got the bandages, they were like, "Yeah, let's do this. We can take on the world. We're bandages."
16 attacks.
That's why I just love those submachine guns.
That was such a bad roll, though.
Oh, it was terrible.
Is what it was meant to be.
I only needed a 4+. What, 16 dice? I got 4 or something. It's just
I suppose potentially I only lost
1 HP.
Yeah, but that was potentially death in the face as well with an obscenely good roll. Like if 3/4 of them hit, I would have been.
Yeah, they jumped the barricades because they're like, yeah, we've got this. We've taken out the assassin. All right, now we can get into it. And then they failed miserably.
And so now the duel between the infiltrator and the wheeled survivor.
Delicate dance.
It is. Well, imagine seeing that fight play out visually, like this person driving on this little.
If we get better at battle reports, we might have to do saves as a certain color and attacks as another, or something like that. Then it'd be easier for people to see what's going on.
Well, maybe, but looking at this situation with the survivor, so this was the assassin versus the infiltrator. The assassin was meant to be more damage focused in that, whilst the infiltrator was a little bit faster and slightly worse weapons, but they had the same gun. But her knife was inferior. But
now we're back over to this side with the acolytes.
Here we go. Using your chain hook, swinging a chain with a hook on the end of it. Watch out, you might poke an eye out with that thing. And attacking the canine Robodog.
What? Would have needed 6s, I think.
Yeah. Nah.
Because
the hand bomb is a different kettle of fish, though. It had some potential. Not.
Oh, that was just the power one. This is the attacks is what really matters, but that's still slightly worse than average. But I think they were on a high from wiping out the enforcers from the previous turn. It was probably about time I had some bad luck with them. Yeah.
No. But if you had have had high power and high attacks, it would be like, yeah.
Well, that's why I did turn 1. Yeah.
So, trying to stomp more zombies.
Crush.
And that was another good thing, is that my offensive perks with Penetrate had no effect on the zombies because they didn't have armor. So it's like, joke's on you, I don't have any armor.
Welcome to the tar pit, my friend.
So, no, it was...
Yeah, they're just
I would have
licking the paint off the... well, there is no paint on that one, but...
I would have totally ran that dog into the middle of these objectives and things, and it would have been like, oh no!
And the funny bit is that they're a respawn unit too, so they just doesn't... I really don't care what happens to those zombies.
And yep, as you run in, you're just sort of invading my space in general.
Just keeping that dog, busy. And the fact that I had high movement as well, if I keep him from making the most of that, you're effectively wasting points.
Yes, I totally understand that tactic right there. Oh,
Trying to deny me. Wait, no, did I have that one this turn? Yeah, I think I've got, number 3.
and the goat manager's there, so...
They were
and
going to be what I wanted to use to claim it, but then, I was just like, no, I'll just engage him in melee.
But this is the dash phase at this point, so... However, by doing that, I've put myself in a position that if you kill them next turn, you'll get an objective.
If I keep it, which
because you got one of your objectives is to kill something near the marker.
Yes.
So,
and by engaging your models and not letting you run away, it sort of guarantees me a good chance.
Yeah, if you didn't engage them, I probably would just move them away.
And then you could dash them back in to deny me the objective at the end.
Yes.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, I would still... I think, for as terms of like damage and casualties, I feel like I'm doing worse at this point. But I believe at this point, though, in terms of objectives, I might be in front. We'll see at the end of the score screen.
Your,
kill one, and I got
yeah.
the objective one. Here we go. So, yep, I completed 2 of them.
So your marker 2, which was on your
and
turret.
the combat.
And I didn't quite get close enough to deny it.
So yeah, 6 points, and you had 5 last turn. So I'm technically in the lead because I believe you didn't get any. Nope, you didn't get any this time.
You denied me the 3 with your enforcers, with the middle objective, and T1 terrain. I think I had to hold your deployment areas, which that wasn't going to happen. Now we're rolling for more.
So I got 2 new ones. So the third marker, which you still want, is now mine.
And we both want that middle one.
I got past saves.
So you'll be trying to take out my
and seizing the neutral zone. I keep getting.
It's a hard one to do, but like the
payoff is good if you can pull it off.
The territory objectives are much easier to get towards the end of the game. Except for the one where it's your own. But then again, someone else might be denying you that as well. Turn 3.
Walking Dead doing their respawn.
Yeah, respawn and invade to a very convenient location.
Yeah, and it's kind of boxing me in at this point, so all if you have to do is engage them in a melee.
I'm just trying to guarantee that I'll have something either to deny you that objective and hopefully kill the enforcers.
Indeed.
I'm already into it.
Yes. For something that was supposed to be a very high, relatively high hit, it was a bit subpar. But then your save was terrible, which actually
balanced it out a bit more.
Yeah. There you go. But you still have a crack at my guy with Spore.
Get that Overwatch in.
Oh, he's going down soon.
just feel it.
That's what it feels like.
Well, plus all the submachine guns probably going to come in soon.
Yes.
Oh, yep. Getting to the turret.
Now that turret's been nerfed. I probably should have used that first to shoot. But no, I did not. So now you're going to try and cut it up with a chainsaw and a scythe. No, I don't believe the chainsaw really wasn't designed, as it were, to attack things like the gun turret, but you know, if you swing enough at something.
I've more got it there just so that the turret doesn't nuke other units.
Yep,
with heavy being not -2 and then out of a melee -3.
Yes,
attacks.
but if you hit something enough, even when there's a low chance, you will damage it. And then, yeah.
If you fling enough poo, something's got to stick.
Yeah, I was thinking it. Wasn't sure if I'd say it, but
well, now I did.
Yep, you've just
Poo 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 poo.
Missile pods. Yeah, with the
6s.
Yes, because again, so my heavy weapons are now all tied up, which will play a role. Yep, and not that I could have really moved these guys away sooner, but this just sort of seals their fate that they are stuck there. And so
zombie nibbles.
Nom, 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 nom.
Yep, that's actually statistically
slightly better.
But
And those saves are amazing.
And then one still goes down though.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, if I recall, those goatmen spears.
They've got some bonuses for the first round of attacking.
Yeah. And at this point, I didn't actually use counter, or Overwatch I should say, on the zombies because I wanted to actually deal with the goatmen.
Well, being a respawn unit, it kind of feels like there's not much point. Plus, if I respawn them again, they wouldn't even be able to hold objectives.
Yeah. But at this point, they sure can. But I was just going through the motions at the point. I had really, I did some damage, look at that.
The goatmen were pretty squished.
Yeah, but they were kind of like glass cannons in a way.
That's what all the taunt units were to try and counter it. The squishiness of the goats by directing your attacks elsewhere.
See, I really should have just, at times where I could have just attacked the goatmen with stray shots instead of going for everything else. Let's shoot the tar pit units. That's a great idea. Let's shoot the mushroom men. But maybe the angles at the time might not have been ideal or something.
Taunt.
But taunt,
only within
I have to be
12.
within a certain range.
Yeah, your long range stuff should have been going for my goats probably.
No, look at that. That's your objective. That's points for you.
Hooray!
And actually, that was your objective 3 is now in your control, unless I have anything to slip in there, which, if I recall, I do not.
You're starting to lose quite a few units by this point.
Yep. And your points are in front, even just by getting that kill near the objective. That's a lot of misses there, but
at this point I didn't even need to get good rolls.
So you nearly killed the submachine gun in one go, even with that bad roll. The gunner guy.
Point blank with 2 submachine guns.
But yeah, it nearly killed him even if he was at full health. So, yeah. No, there's another of my units gone.
You had a lot of points in that canine robot dog, and considering I just tar pitted it.
And then you're continuing to tar pit it with mushroom men and things like that.
It really hasn't done anything to help with your objectives.
No. But the other factor is, aside from that, it's like, what I'm trying to say is that these mutants really wanted to defend their home.
They did.
Yeah. Not putting up with this invasive corporate nonsense.
No. Down with big government. No.
Okay, so the infiltrator is attacking. So this is my infiltrator. So this is
the wheeled survivor.
my lesser assassin in a way.
The more mobile one, was it?
Yeah, more mobile, squishier, not as damageful as it were.
I think I finally lost 3 HP.
So you still got 2 left. Yeah, take a hand bomb.
I don't know why I gave her so much HP. Probably because it's a one-man unit, and I've got a bad history of sending in high mobility models that just die at turn 1. So I think
You could just say, well, that's one tough Segway she's riding. It's taking all the hits.
and pop.
Nope, but you still got Overwatch.
So I just pop it on its side. And see if I can do anything with what the handgun and the hand bomb. Is it 1 HP off?
And this will be the death. I've only got 1 HP left, so
Yeah, that hand bomb. It's either going to be a really good roll or a really bad one.
hilarious. What? 9 attacks.
Yep.
Evasive's not going to cover that much.
Seeing what I only need 3s. Yeah, we did tend to forget evasive, but it's when we're trying different units all the time, we never really repeat the same army, so we don't get used to going, oh, that's right, I have evasive on that.
Nah, look at that. Did.
But yeah, even if we had remembered evasive, that's not going to have lived through that many
That would have
attacks.
over half killed her, even if she was at full health.
Surprising that conflict lasted to turn 3, given the sheer volume of attacks on both sides.
Yeah, well, I think they only really started getting serious attacking each other in the previous turn, if I recall. But, well, here it comes the, you're trying to hit the dog with your ranged rad acolytes.
I'm already starting to think about the other objective, now that my shaman's gone.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You've got more units and you can feel free to spread yourself around a little bit in some spots in terms of deployment zones, as well as objective markers in particular. You've got something everywhere when you've got those acolytes in position. And this turn you've got the middle one, which is the one you need. So whatever the future objective marker is, you'll be in a position to take it, unless it's the ones with my gun turrets. But so far they've all been sort of at this end of the table, or in the middle, with the red and green rocks up the very the other side, with the missile turret having been active. And
Man, everything I've
Yes.
done to the dog up to then is now not even... Yep,
it's even got an absorb.
yep, now it's even a little bit too much health. Let's see if spores do anything to the doggy. Nope. Fungal fist.
Three plus
not
saves.
bad.
Yeah.
And that was pretty
Wow,
bad.
that knocked off the bubble and started to do damage again. See, if I didn't have the machinist there, you could actually were quite dangerous to that dog just through attrition.
Well, I've had, 3 different units peppering it over the game at this point.
But unlike the zombies that can respawn, the Mush Mutants, I could theoretically still damage through their regenerate. But just take a while. Alright, there, that's all. Yeah, so that was enough to knock out a whole model without regenerate being a factor. But that's still a number of turns.
They were a good little tarp hit unit.
Your survivors were quite versatile. They had healing and damage. They weren't particularly tough though, if I recall.
They did a good job for what they were though.
Yeah. And amazingly, despite the heavy penalty, I was
Still taking them out.
Yep. And
But I was very lucky with the ages.
yeah, there you go.
Could have wiped one.
The dreaded goatmen.
One's just hanging on.
And you already had counterattacked. That's why there was only one action because of Overwatch. So now you dash towards that objective just in case it becomes a thing next turn. Alright. I did that's the saves one. So I passed 10 saves over the turn and that gave me that. So now I've got 8 objective points. But at this point you completed...
Yeah, now I got 2
you got
good ones.
Both of them from that middle marker area. So you killed the unit near it and then took it. So at this point you've got a healthy lead.
Now, taking the lead to 12. But it was all, from that centre.
Alright, so I got marker 3 again. Casualty near objective marker. It's like what you had. I had similar to what you did.
But I managed to pull it off the previous
And then
turn.
if I can hurt something in my own zones, the only one I can sort of realistically achieve. And yeah, you got marker 1, and that's where you were placing that unit. And you got 10 saves. Anywho, turn 4. And we're right into it with the she-mantises. Did you like the she-mantises?
Yeah, they did alright. I mean, they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was to
Run in there.
flanked for a deployment objective area. But, they had a pretty bad run with, I guess, doing offense, but they at least tied up the turret, made it much less potent.
And you actually were killing my Guardian. He's only got 2 HP left. But I did manage to knock out a Mantis and injure the next. But given that this is a 4-turn game, granted, I suppose the Goatmen could gun down.
Oh, they'd be pretty unlikely to do a lot to that turret.
But the Guardian, though, could be taken down
they could probably
potentially.
take out the Guardian. Yeah, but I think they don't have line of sight to him at the moment.
But they would be able to move in, I would think, because it's start of the turn.
Goatman down 1. Yeah.
And did you... Let's see.
The next one's wounded.
Yeah.
I think he's got to 2.
Yeah, you're going to use Overwatch. So that's all. Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, may as well make the most of the one before it fully carks it.
So a 6 and a 3 plus is needed. So 1 got through despite all the attacks.
But you got the save.
I suppose that was probably... Would you have rather attacked the Enforcer in hindsight, you reckon? Or? Look at that. Move. And most likely could have used Guard.
Like, if it hadn't have been a set 4 game turns, I probably was thinking long game for, getting the extra shots in on the turret. Like, if I had got freakishly lucky against that turret, it would have been just amazing. Then the Mantis would have had half a chance at finishing off the Enforcer. Whereas that turret was going to slowly kill all those things around it.
At this point, you are... See, the gun turret was attacking the rat acolytes that were attacking it. sort of it wasn't really gonna, I don't think I could actually wipe them out at this point. But, you know, go down kicking and screaming and fighting tooth and nail.
It's still having those turrets were...
Oh, you took it down to 2. That turret was going down.
Yeah, it was on its way out. Their weapons just happened to be a little bit more efficient at that turret. This is the doggy.
It's Aegis
K9.
saves. You passed, looks like 3 of them.
Not 3, yeah. So 1 mushy.
But you'll then just use regen, I'm pretty sure. Regenerate.
Yeah, they're
With
this, yeah, really top hitting that one. But yeah, if the zombies and the mushies hadn't held up that dog, I reckon it would have been a very, very different game.
yeah. Spores. Wow.
Oh, 666.
Yes. Fungal Fist. Not very
That was
good
a
roll.
terrible
Is
roll.
that 2 I can see
Yeah,
in
it's
there?
only 2. Absolutely terrible. Then you get full saves.
Oh,
But like, you know,
one-
you don't have any penalties.
Yeah.
Then you could just repair him.
Well,
They were
speaking
sort of locked
repair,
in. There was a very locked sort of battle, that one.
and no
But no,
repairs.
but fair.
So you'd kind of need that to keep happening. Then the dog would
Yeah,
perish.
chances of that happening every game too is slim to none.
Yeah. But there's a dash phase, so the end is nigh.
Yep.
I completed the one which was to cause HP loss to an enemy,
Near deployment
which
zone.
I did up.
We
there.
did it in 2 spots actually.
So I finished with 9 objective points.
I managed to get 2 more objectives in, which was just yeah, 17. Whew.
Yeah, it's almost double. But there you go. Good game, I say.
Yes, good game. Thanks for watching.
Yes, it was. The Mush Mutants probably felt comfortable after that first or second turn. I think it was
I think
really
turn
sinking
2
in.
was even turn 3 was a change because of that central objective.
Yeah, that was because technically I was in front in turn 2. But
And a big thank you to all our affiliates. You've got some amazing models, and please check them out.
yep, and the terrain and the gaming map was from the Italian P-Work War Games. They donated that to us, so thank you very much, and thanks to our friends who did the music. And yeah, be sure to give the Intermediate a go and let us know what you think of it. Thanks for watching.